Well, then he was complaining of a rattle, and they thought might have been a tire. Then they thought it might have been this bolt that fell out when he came up on the jack. But now they come back in because they're going to look to the rear because they think it's either a clutch or it possibly could be back in the rear end area. The crew going to work, they're going to look at the axle because they think that might be indeed what it is. He might have snapped an axle here.
And a trouble.
Oh, we have a car upside down, rolling down the racetrack. That's the number 48 car, driven by Greg Sachs.
Looks like Lake Speed.
Lake Speed also involved. Greg Sachs' car on its top. However, we can see movement inside the cockpit. We believe there's a small fire burning in the engine compartment.
It looks that way on top of the engine. And
there we see Greg crawling out from the car.
Yeah,
boy, get out of there. Atta boy.
Oh. So that's always good to see the driver come out after a crash of that sort.
He doesn't have a helmet on.
Well, he had to take it off because of the
radio.
Climb out.
Now he wants to go back.
Help Lake Speed to see if Lake's okay. Checking on him. He pulled his helmet off to because the radio.
In turn number 1, and again, we're going to be delayed considerably because the wall has given away once again.
Wow.
Okay, let's take a look at what did happen. As he went into turn 1, he was on the outside. It looks like Lake Speed might have lost an engine, or at least he lost the car, and Greg hit him, and they both head to that wall. Greg Sachs hit it hard with the right front, and then the car gets upset and starts rolling over as they come down off of the wall. Barrel rolling. Look how high it goes into there, comes back down.
Oh,
over and over.
God, for Winston Cup cars and how strong they are. Look at that thing.
You can see the fire, Benny, under the hood of the car, and then it rests back on the top. And as we saw, then Greg Sachs was able to crawl out of there.
The fire was he broke the carburetor when all those tumbles, and the fuel in the carburetor came out and ignited. That was not a big fire, but let's hope that Lake Speed can jump out of there just as quickly as Greg Sachs did.
Greg Sachs is quite concerned about Lake Speed, and Lake has not come out of that car, and Greg is there standing beside it. We'll have a real-time replay, and this will give you an indication of exactly how hard the car hit.
You can see Lake Speed's car number 83 down on the inside as he lost speed up. He really hit that wall hard.
Every race car driver that retires from racing and quits racing ought to come up and watch some race from inside the TV booth, because it'd never go back to it. That's for doggone sure.
It's a lot different up here.
It really is. It's a different ball game up here, folks, than it inside those cars.
Let's go down to Jackaroo, who is with, and we're very glad to see this, Greg Sachs.
Well, what a way, Greg Sachs, to initiate a brand-new sponsored dinner bell into Winston Cup racing. I have never seen a crash like that in a long time here. You're okay. That's good news.
Yeah, I'm fine, Jack. And I'd like to tell everybody back at Defiance, back at Dinner Bell, we're doing fine, and we'll see you up at Michigan. Everything's going great here. Our team will bounce back. Lake Speed out there is doing fine. I've talked to him. I've let all his fans know, and all my fans back in Mattituck, New York. You know, we're doing fine. Food Line people, we're glad to have your support, and we'll be back at Michigan.
What went through your mind when you were going end over end down there?
Well, Jack, you know, I thought it was never going to stop, and I was just hoping to God that another car wouldn't hit me, let's say in a roof or something. And, you know, I could see the fire. Then once it did stop, of course, you know, fate would have it, it'd be on your roof. And the oil was running right down under me. I don't know if you saw me shaking my hand when I got out, because when I had to brace myself to take my belts off, I had to put my hand down in the hot oil. And, you know, that window opening only looked like it was about 6 inches, but I come out of there like a snake. Nope.
Yeah, but you came out without your helmet, too, and then the first thing you did is you ran down to look after Lake Speed.
Well, when I got out, the first thing I did was look up, and I could see that there was no traffic coming. I looked at Lake's car, and I see that he was sitting in, and he was still. So I wanted to get right down there and see how he was doing. And he spoke to me right away. He wasn't unconscious or anything at any time. He was doing fine. I helped him get his steering wheel off, and then disconnected his radio and that stuff, and said he wanted his helmet off, so I helped him get that off. And right from the beginning, he told me he felt like he might have broke his shoulder blade. Just not to move him. He's going to need some help to get out of the car.
Well, that's still good news. Both drivers are at least okay. One has walked away, and meanwhile, as we've been talking here, we've been watching great action by Mark Martin and company. It looks like he's getting a little racy, gentlemen.